Good morning, everybody. This is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we're going to talk about rabbit cages. Interesting title, you might say. Well, there's actually a reason for this. As we were building all those boxes for our rabbits today, we kept trying to fix it and make it perfect and make it beautiful until finally we just looked at each other and laughed and said, this is not a freaking piece of furniture. And we put it into perspective and realized it's just a box for a rabbit. Right now we have two rabbits in two very old cages. These cages I had when I was a kid, and I do not like them. They have a plastic tray that is only about 3/4 of an inch deep, and it's right along the bottom of the cage. So unless you literally clean it every day, it's always a mess. We have this old playhouse that we have turned into a mini barn, and today we are going to completely overhaul this, put in some new cages with some metal trays. The original cages that I had bought all assembled and ready to go. As I said, I was just a kid, so it's been a long time. But I was able to find these rabbit hutches that are 30 by 30 for a very inexpensive price, but you have to assemble them. So today I'm going to assemble these cages. Now, when you see the fancy system down here, we're not spending money on that. I'm not even sure I could get the frame for that. So all we are putting together are the two cages. The benefit to having a kit like this is they have already cut out all the pieces you need and they have sanded the corners. Now, I have made cages for years and years all by myself, but the price was right. It was even cheaper than buying the wire. So this is the way we're going to go today. This kit even includes the hardware, which is the clips that you need to attach the wire. But what they don't include is the pliers for those clips. So I always have at least two of these on hand because we are always building things with cages and wire. As it starts to get colder outside, I'm putting this together by my wood stove as it's cold outside today. So Jim is making a frame in our old playhouse, which is our baby barn, with 2x4s, and I'm assembling the cages. The first thing I do is divide out the pieces I'm going to use. This is the bottom, and this is 30 by 30. Now, if you are going to build your own and buy your own wire, this is 1/2 inch by 1 inch galvanized wire. This is the top panel, and the measurements on this is 2 by 1 inch, and that's actually the same as the sides. To assemble the cage, you start by putting the base in the center and then laying each of the sides out, putting the one with the door right in front of you. And what I'm going to do is I'm now going to clip them together. This is how I laid it out, and if you look, all the black circles are where you're going to put a clip. So on this front half, I'm going to put 15 clips. Now, they have the door more to the right, but the setup of my barn, I want the door more to the left. Other than that, it's exactly as planned. To use these clips, you're going to set it into the front of your pliers like that, and then you're going to put the two pieces of metal in there and just squeeze, and this is going to wrap around the wire. Just like that, I've wrapped it around. Now I'm going to put one of these in every 2-inch section, so there will be a total of 15 going across. All right, I got the very first row done. That is 15 clips going across the front. It's easier if you do it while it's laying down flat. So all you have to do is lift that up to make the part of the cage. But for now, we're going to turn it and move to the next side. And be careful, it's pulling some pulls into my jeans. Okay, this cage took me about an hour to assemble, but it is finished, and it's time to take it out and finish our rabbit barn. We also purchased the 30 by 30 and 3-inch tall trays. Now, I was only able to get one of those. The other one is 30 by 36, I think. And so I'm going to show you how we have to adapt it to make it work. And that's what it's all about. If you can find something inexpensively that's going to help you, you can do the work and make it much cheaper. All right, first thing I got to do is get my friendly rabbits out of here so Jim can work. Many people ask me why I raise rabbits. It is right here. This is rabbit poop. It is a cold fertilizer I can put directly onto my garden. And these two guys right here, they give me plenty of poop for our gardens. All right, we are putting some 2x4s to hold the cages. So this is going to be a frame for those cages. Not only are we moving our rabbits into larger cages with bigger pans, because often in the winter the urine will freeze, the poop will freeze. It makes it really hard to clean, especially if you have just a ½ inch pan. Not only that, but we are winterizing their entire barn. So this is going to be a day-long project. I use First Saturday lime both for my chickens and for my rabbits. Now, if you see the powder that is here, this is where the cages were. They sat right on here. Now they had a tray, but sometimes the trays ran over. I have spread out a thin layer of lime. And I do that because it prevents bugs, insects and critters and things like that. So I've spread out some lime. This is the lime that soaked up the urine that was on that shelf, and I can put that right into the rabbit poop compost. Not sure if you have a buck or a doe? Here's one of the signs that you have a buck, because a buck will spray urine, and I don't have any guards around the cages, so it has hit the wall, so I'm going to clean the walls. The next thing to do to winterize for our bunnies is to build some boxes for them. These boxes can be called nesting boxes, but they are not for them to have babies in. In fact, I think I have 2 buck. But nesting boxes can be filled with hay to keep your bunnies warm in the winter. And look at this, they want more than $70 for these wooden boxes on Amazon. That would be over $140. Nope, we can build it for free with scraps we have around the house. We pulled out some scrap wood that we had. This was a little shelf I had in the back of my car. And we are going to build 2 nesting boxes. Yes, they're buck, but it is to keep them warm in the winter. Gonna fill it up with hay, and they will climb in there to stay warm. When you put your boxes into your cage, measure the door opening first. So our door opening is 12 by 12, so we are going with 11 inches and 15 inches deep. Very important that you do not use pressure treated wood, because your rabbits will chew on their boxes. After looking at this quick little sketch we did, we decided 6 inches was just too big on the front. So we went down to 3.5, 6 inches across the top. And Jim's getting his saw. Alright, all the pieces are cut out. Now we're going to drill holes before we screw them together. And right as we were drilling, the battery went dead. This is real life, folks. Alright, we got the first one finished. Beautiful, beautiful. Fine job, Mr. Jimmy. All right, it is starting to take shape. And what we're going to do now, we're going to hang these cages from the beam above. That will give us room for the trays below. And what I thought was a mistake, I could only get one 30-inch tray, and the other one was like 36, I think. It fits perfect in the space, and I originally was going to cut it. Now we could have a tray that goes completely from side to side and actually gives a little bit of space. So that worked out perfect. Couldn't have planned it any better myself. We have these beams here. What we're going to do is put hopefully some metal zip ties around them. Oh, I have a feather on my glove. Metal zip ties that go around. I had purchased them about a year ago with no real intent for them, but I thought they were pretty cool. So he's going to go in and see if he can find those. And then I said we really should put a shelf up there. That would be easy storage space. And over on this side of our baby barn is 2 trash cans. In them, one of them is chicken feed that we mix, and one of them is rabbit pellets. And these are organic, plus we stir in quite a bit of other things. Many people ask me why I only have 2 rabbits. Well, when we got them, it was last year at Easter. And I originally bought those rabbits because I wanted rabbit poop for our garden. Immediately we knew we needed to add in compost, and that was a quick and easy way. These 2 are actually brothers, so I will be getting another doe so that we become more self-sustainable. All right, we just moved our bunnies into their brand new cages. And as you can see, that is Thumper. He has already eaten some of his hay. The trays that we put are just below the hanging cages, and so these actually slide. Look at that. There's no problem. So cleaning it is going to be much, much easier. And Jim was really careful to make sure that we were still going to be able to open up these windows. These windows are just screened for the summer, but the way that we lock those shutters is from the inside. So this actually is going to work out very, very well. So we still have the ones. Now the one in the back, we're not going to be able to open that, but it's okay. Now you might be wondering why we call this little barn our baby barn. First off, it's baby because it's small. But second off, in the spring, in this little barn, we had our baby chicks and our baby bunnies. Our chicks are now out in the chicken run, but our rabbits are still in the barn. So technically, it's a rabbit barn. Today, we winterized this entire area by completely overhauling it. And it pretty much took all morning into the afternoon, and now it is evening. But what we did is we took out the old small cages. We replaced them with larger cages. We made nesting boxes, which for these guys is just going to be a winter box that they can crawl in and stay warm. We added 3-inch metal trays where we had less than an inch plastic ones. And other than that, we got everything ready for cold weather. In the spring, when we moved our baby animals in here, this had been a playhouse. And so we worked hard first off to make sure it was secure. And one of the things we had, these shutters closed and then they locked on the inside, but it was a wide open window, so we definitely put some caging on there so that nothing could get in. Now to winterize this, the only last step I have is to take that foam sheet insulating and just cut a piece, put it in there because there's a big gap between the window itself and the shutter, so that will add another protection of heat. I am often asked if we heat our barns for our animals, and that is a solid absolutely not. They have fur coats. Our chickens have down feathers all over them. They are warm. They don't need heaters. What they do need is to be protected from the wind and the rain. Another element of preparing for the winter is to make sure I have twice as many water bowls as what I need. So there are one in each cage, and then I have an extra set. That way in the morning when I come out to water them and it is frozen, I will bring those two in the house and use the two that are not frozen. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye. And remember, it's not a freaking piece of furniture. It's a rabbit box, and they will love it.